There you go. Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, coming into the frame. He's the coach, Philip Roybal, and we got former Oklahoma Sooner with us, Mr. Steven Coleman, former defensive tackle, Dallas Skyline, Boomer Sooners.
Boomer.
Coach.
Boomer. Camera over.
Well, there is that, and we lost it. It was fun while it lasted. Yeah, we lost the whole damn thing. No, it's back. I promise we ain't drunk tonight. I promise I'm not drunk tonight.
Me
neither. That thing is jacked. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get in here. Coach. Just over here. You guys are still with us. Hold just 1 second. I gotta get to my other page here because there's no way to see it otherwise. We should be there, Coach.
Okay.
Are we on it? You just go to YouTube and find it, Coach. Yeah, here it is. We're already on it.
Yeah, we're there.
All right. I'm coming in from another side here, but I'm looking and it's trying to pull it up. All right. I'm going to say it's working. You got the thing there, Coach? Yep, it's on. It's watching. Hey, just watch the camera. I got you here. All right. You guys with us?
All right,
Sorry,
everybody.
everything's, hey, guys.
Been crazy.
Is what it is here. But, guys, here's the deal. We came in to talk to you. We're having all kinds of issues with this stupid networks around here. But here's the deal. Wanted to make sure that everybody knew what happened today. Essentially, the problem that you're running into is you got Mike Gundy talking lots of trash. Want to welcome to the show, as I said, former Sooner Steven Coleman. He played right. This guy played right alongside, found his way into the lineup when he's playing around Jared McCoy and Tommy Harris. So, that's what kind of football player that Coach had, at Dallas Skyline. Pretty awesome, right?
It's guys like this that make me a good coach.
Right? You just have to recruit him, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Coach always says about the Jimmies and the Joes. So that's how it kind of goes. All right, fellas. Coach, you tell me what you thought about because Coach asked him the question about sticking with.
Well, what I asked him today was, will you still continue to play Oklahoma during a non-conference game? And he gave me a line of bullshit that was so deep that, I got to tell you, and I hope Coach Gundy, I hope sometime you watch our podcast and you listen, because I think you're full of shit. And I'm just telling you right now, you blame it on OU for going to the SEC. Well, OU's doing what's best for OU, and you're saying that, well, if they would have stayed, we'd still be playing. Well, the bottom line is this ball game is a traditional ball game. It's a rivalry ball game, and you're both in the state of Oklahoma. So if I'm Gundy, I want to prove that I'm the best in the state. But obviously he can't do that because he gets his ass kicked by OU all the time.
That's true.
So, again, and I have to tell you, I don't have anything against Coach Gundy. I very rarely speak out against any coach. Haven't been a coach myself. But Gundy's bullshit today was deep. And to be blaming Oklahoma and we're not going to change what we do just because Oklahoma chose to go to the SEC. The bottom line is, I think you're scared, Coach Gundy, and that's all I've got to say.
There's definitely no doubt he is. And go ahead and pass it over to Steven Coleman. And Steven, now when you were there, did you guys ever lose to Okie Light? You know you call them Okie Light too, so go ahead.
They little brother of us, man. We never lost.
Yeah.
I was 5-0 against them. But they have some good teams who played them, but
Yeah.
like I said, we never lost them.
But I mean, and it's all about, that's what he's upset about, though. I mean, it's not about that they're going to the SEC. And if it is, it's because they probably, due to the fact that they made
Excuses.
So they're making more money. They didn't bring Oklahoma State with them, is what it is. Or I feel like anyway. But you tell me what you think.
Well, like Coach said, man, Oklahoma's going to do the best for Oklahoma at the end of the day. Just like
Sure.
Texas will do the best thing for Texas. I mean, same thing with Texas A&M. You know, the SEC, they killed their rivalry with Texas. So, I don't know. I mean, Oklahoma's going to do the best for them. So, you can sit there and
Hold on, I got to read this. I'm just, go ahead. You can talk.
oh, yeah, they can complain all they want, but so he's going to do the best for OU.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
All right. Yeah, we got a problem. Hold on. Hold tight. All right, can you hear sound? A lot of echo. My bad. Hold on. How about now?
Can you guys hear us now?
Yeah, they can hear us now. I guarantee it. They can hear us now.
Okay.
Jason has a booger in his left nostril, and he can hear you. Go ahead. All right, 100%. Go, guys.
Okay. There we go.
All right, Coach. Say what you got to say again.
No, I just, my question is, does, because one of the things Gundy said today was that, he's going to listen to his athletic director and his president and his administration. But at the end of the day, my question becomes, are they interested in continuing this rivalry that's been going on?
Which would be a good question
for years and years, because I think it's an important question to ask. And then the next thing I have is, if that's not the case, that they don't want to play still as administrators, then is that something that the Oklahoma legislature steps in and says, look, guys, we need to continue to play this game, this rivalry, because, golly, guys, two excellent institutions that ought to be playing each other. They're in the same state, just a few miles down the road from each other. There's no reason not to continue that ball game.
I don't know why you wouldn't. And that's the whole point to me is that, look, he's in what he said, and if you're going to have to go back and find it because I can't pull the video up. I've got it, and we'll definitely post it up there. But here's the thing. He said directly, and it was a question before Roy Ball asked him a question. He got a question about what he felt about playing for the last time, if it was something that was, that it was something they were thinking about. And his immediate answer was, he basically went to, hey, this would continue on if it wasn't for them leaving for the SEC. Everybody wants to put it on us, but it's on them. He kept putting it completely on Oklahoma, acting like there was even any way whatsoever that he even wants to play the game, which is untrue. Because, and let's talk about why. Why is it everybody thinks he doesn't want to play? I'll tell you why. He's been getting his ass kicked for freaking 20 years. Yeah, 99% of the time. 99% of the time, right? You're right, Lori. You're absolutely right. But here's the deal. Gotta keep watching here. As long as he's 3-16, this is year 20. 3-16. He has one conference title. Remember last year before the K-State game, after he beat Texas, what does he say? He was like, well, I feel like if I'd have went to Oklahoma, well, then I'd be the head coach at Oklahoma. Not with a record like that. Not with a record like that. In one conference championship, shit, they'd run him off year 3.
Yeah, I was trying to look at, I was going back and looking at some of his.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make year 3.
There ain't no way, right?
We all about winning on you, man. You gotta win there, man.
Yeah. We'll talk about that and talk about what it's like in the locker room, Steven. Steven knows what it's like to be in that locker room.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy. It's all expectations to win. I know the fans expect us to win too, and that's our expectation too. I know when I was there, we had one bad year. That was the 84 year in 2005. We ended on a good note. We beat the number 5 team in the country. That was Oregon.
Right.
But the entire year, that's not acceptable for OU. Not at all. Everybody at OU knows that 8 wins is not good enough.
What were you saying about the kids didn't even want our autographs?
Yeah, they want our autographs. That's not acceptable, man. So, like the kids now, they know the expectations of OU. So that's why I'm kind of excited for this season coming up. Everybody knows the expectations. They know what they got to do, and I think they're gonna do well this year.
I agree.
Yeah, and Chicken made sure to say, love you, Steven. Thanks a lot for coming on the show.
I love you too, man.
Yeah, Chicken's one of our, and I want to say hi to everybody. Thank you for coming back in here. I know everybody has waited an awful long time. We've been having issues. Matt, Chicken, Lori, thank you. We love you too. Hank, always.
Hank.
Always
Hank's the man.
Hank's our man. Obviously, Kim. Obviously, we got everybody in here pretty much. Matt, thank you guys for hanging around. Adela, thank you. Chicken, we love you, brother.
Man, I'm loving these names, man.
Perfect Cracker. Yeah, man. They're making me hungry, kind of. Jimmy, glad you're back. Glad you're back too. Yeah, listen.
Hey, we have the best fans in the country.
We absolutely do, guys. There's no two ways around it. And this is the one thing I'll say, Steven. And you were in here the last time you were on the show. You know, you didn't get a chance to hear what they had to say to you. But, hey, there's Sean. USB Mike for road trips. Hey, I think you might be right on that. You might be right on that. That's kind of what we're using right now. Adela, as always, thank you so much for being here. Koozie, there he is. There's Koozie. What's up, man? But tell me, guys, what you all think about him doing this. And this is the second year in a row that you've seen Mike Gundy pull this, right?
So he says his schedule is full through 2037.
15 years.
2037. Wrong answer.
Okay, so let's just assume that was correct.
Sure.
Right? Let's just assume that was correct. Now, Ohio State earlier this year, canceled its upcoming series with UW, Washington, and they had to pay $500,000 to do it. They were happy to do so because they didn't want to have to make that trip. And what I think is they know the Pac-12 is about to go right down the tubes. So they knew that they were happy to do that. Mm-hmm. To me, you kind of have to go there. And so you can make this excuse if you want to. If you think everybody's stupid, we're not. Mike, we're just not dumb. It's your Okie light way of doing things that you don't want to play anymore. You can just say that instead of trying to put it off on Oklahoma. And listen, we're going to ask Coach V tomorrow what he thinks about what he said.
Absolutely.
It's going to be asked tomorrow. So be paying attention to the live stream that's coming. We can't carry it live for more than a couple minutes at a time, so we're not even trying to. From within the stadium, that's ESPN's deal. ESPN and Fox are able to do their part of it. We're not allowed to, right? But we're going to make sure that Coach Venables gets the question. We'll both be raising our hand. Either way, if they don't get to me, they'll get to Coach Roybal and vice versa. One of us is going to ask the damn question.
Hey, Jason, I did want to tell you, though, ESPN tried to hire me today.
Oh, well, hell. By all means, Coach.
They wanted me to carry all their stuff in and out of the building.
Oh, they were going to do you like that?
I need somebody to know.
That's right. So you got to have somebody, don't you?
Jimmy, I like this. Jimmy says, like I said, I want be there in 2 years. So he'll say he won't be there 2 years is what Jimmy's saying.
Right.
Well, it's easy. You would think that, but unless he retires on his own, I don't think that that's the case. Unless I guess if they go full trash this season, possibly. And
they could.
I think he should be there, though. That's my opinion. I mean, he's been there for 20
Listen, they could have fired him after last year. I mean, when you jettison as many players as they did, and I know that not all of them were starters. You know, Oklahoma get all butthurt about this. And, you know, I know not all of them were starters, but you lost your quarterback. You replaced him with Alan Bowman, who wasn't good at Tech, wasn't good at Michigan. Supposedly he's going to come in and save Oklahoma State. I don't think so. They may have a good running game. It's a new system that they're learning. And they're going to the 3-3-5 this year. Look what happened when Oklahoma went to the 3-3-5 this past year. You struggle a bit. I could see this being a 5-win season, even though they do have a quote-unquote easy schedule. Right? They're going to win probably their first 3. But here's the thing. Coach Dillingham at Arizona State can call them up. I don't think that Coach Gundy can anymore. Not without players even. So, you know, to me, I don't see it.
Are they going to Arizona State or are they coming to Stillwater?
It's in Stillwater. So and they beat them last year, but of course Herm was kind of, you know, he kind of lost control of the ship. But Kenny Dillingham is one of the brightest young coaches in the country.
Yes, he is.
I think that they're probably a year or so away from really being much of a threat. But that being said, maybe, but when you've lost the guys if you listen to Oklahoma State, people say it, they replaced them with better players at a lot of positions. I don't buy that very much. I wonder about that offensive line depth. I wonder about the defensive line depth too, which we know when you go into a new system, 3-3-5, I mean, you guys aren't going to play freaking 60 snaps, right?
No, going to 3-3-5 is totally different than the 4-3.
Yeah.
Tell you that right now. So, yeah, it's going to be a big adjustment for them.
It's a learning curve, right?
Yeah, it is.
So, and I mean, even with Gerald McCoy and Tommy Harris, how many snaps were they playing on average in a game, do you think? Oof.
As far as the rotation, we always had a four-man rotation. I would say
So about
40.
25 or more.
35, something like 35, 35.
These are your starters, right? Right? Hey, yeah, Seatbelt Mafia. We love them too. Yeah, look, if they go 5-7, that's probably a decent season. And I've been saying this to Cody, and you know what? He's been telling everybody to bet the over on their 7.5. Beat the crap out of the under if you want to make some money. I'll go throw some money on it right now. Beat the crap out of the under. And here's the other thing. Okay, Cody's gonna owe me $1,000. We had the bet. It's live and everybody knows about it. I told him that Oklahoma wins by 21 plus. That's $1,000.
Well, you know what?
If they stay within 50, I'll be surprised.
I was saying this today. That could be a 63-0 buzzing.
Hey man, I mean, even with Spencer Sanders last year, they jumped ahead. Now Oklahoma started a bit, but they still screwed up every opportunity they had to get back in that game. It is what it is. Yeah, beat the crap out of the under. The crap. Yeah, it is what it is, guys.
Yeah, you know, we got to pick on little brother.
Yeah. Now look, far be it from me. Let's just switch gears just for a second.
I was just thinking.
Far be it from me to say anything nice about Texas, because horns down, right? But Coach Sark today, and I asked him, I was like, you keep saying that this looks like your team. This looks like your team. This feels like your team. It smells like your team. I don't know what smells means. Do you accept the fact that you are expected to win this conference this year, and you expect to do it? And I gotta say, and he said it more than that, just that time. But he was saying the entire time, yeah, the kids expect it. I expect it.
I gotta tell you, Coach Sark today I thought was impressive in his talk today, and he owned everything. I mean, there was nothing he didn't know. Quite the opposite of Coach Gundy, but he owned everything that was put out in front of him, and he's basically saying, look, the expectation is we win, and it's his expectation. He says it's the players' expectations, and
they're holding each other accountable.
Yeah, they're holding each other accountable, exactly. And so, and that's good. I was really glad to hear him do those things. I still think they're third at best in the conference, in my humble opinion.
Well, and it just begged the question for me though: if they don't win 10 games still, and especially with him saying and owning that they better win this conference, or they should, he knows that they have the best roster, even if it's only by a little, right? He knows they have the best roster, and he knows why 41 media members picked them to win it. In the Big 12 media, the whole damn country's been picking them to win it.
Yeah.
So
picking them on athletes.
Yeah. Yeah, look, and Jimmy, you're right. When Sark has his head on straight, he's a good coach. But he hasn't had a drink in years, so it's not about. I think his head's on straight. I think his issue has always been, as we talked about, is that he doesn't make adjustments. Is he going to run it? Is he going to finally do that this year? Because I think that's what's going to make or break for them. Are they going to be able to beat Texas Tech and beat Kansas State and beat TCU on the road?
I say like this. I know I'm an OU guy, but I always say we need Texas to be good all the time. If Texas is good and Oklahoma's good, the world is good.
All's good.
All is good. It makes some good matchups. I would say for it to be successful, Texas and Oklahoma can be in the Big 12 championship game this year.
Yeah,
they'll be great to go off to the SEC, and one of those wins the Big 12 championship.
Well, and you would expect them to do that. I mean, when you look at these two rosters and you look at everything that Coach Venables and his staff have done in the transfer portal and in recruiting, should they get there? Yeah, they're going to be a big improvement on the defensive side of the ball. It seems like it.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. Because year two of it, you kind of get it. Tell me what it was like for you in year two, because the first year, obviously, it's new to you. Of course, it probably wasn't that new to you if you played for Coach. You've been in the 3-3-5, right?
No, we played on. It was in the 4-3.
Yeah, we were in 4-3 back then.
Okay.
We was in 4-3 at Oklahoma.
But it took some time to kind of get to that point, or?
just getting used to doing your technique, controlling your gap, or make sure you stand in your gap. Because once you get out of the gap,
discipline.
It's all about discipline.
It's all gap control.
All gap control. You do your job, the defense runs smooth. If somebody else misses one assignment, then it messes up the whole.
It could be 88 out the gate.
88 out the gate. You got two guys in the same hole, then Coach Venables.
That's what it is. Yeah, I mean, guys, think about that. The games that they lost, how many times did you see? As great as Sussman was at times, there was times that cat was in the wrong spot, and you see a touchdown happen because he's in the wrong gap.
Yeah.
Baylor game. They give up 3rd and 27 against freaking K-State. And all they had to do was make the stop there, and Dylan goes down and score. They win. They scored anyway, but they lost. It didn't help. In the end, the problem with Texas is that since Mack left, they've been in position a few times, but only a couple of times, and it was under Todd Herman.
So I got a question for our Texas fans. How much do y'all miss Mack Brown now? Because at first when he got fired, y'all was so happy that he left Texas. I wonder how many of y'all miss him now. I'm being honest.
Stephen, it's interesting that you bring that question to the table. And guys, we haven't talked about this at all, but Jason and I on the way up here were having that very discussion about, they got to miss Mack. Mack did a great job while he was there.
Great job.
And he's doing a great job now. But he was kind of the perfect fit, in my opinion, at University of Texas, because Mack had a great way of working with working with the administration, working with the athletic director, also
the players.
Yeah, he was a players coach. He just all around did it. The boosters, because good God, we all know the Texas boosters can be a bit overwhelming, and obviously why Mack's not there today. But I thought he did the best job all the way around, and again, coaching the Texas team to be successful and win. And so I agree with you. I think they miss him. They got to miss him. They may not want to admit it, but they have to.
Yes. I think so too. Yeah, I think you're right. And that great point. Because we were talking about that the other day, as Coach said, and it's like, man, and I think that Charlie Strong was a good coach. I think he was in over his head there, and they never gave him much of an opportunity.
They gave him a chance.
When you think about Herman, I mean, that's the closest they were to being quote unquote back, if that's what you want to call it. They beat Kyler that year, and they only lost by a couple of points in the conference championship game, that year. So they were close there. That being said, then they turn around and 2 years later, he's on the streets. Now he's over coaching at South Florida. Go crazy. It's so weird to me.
I wonder where he went.
Yeah, Herman's at South Florida. He was with the Bears or something last year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But, guys, hey, hit the like button, folks. There's 23 people in here. We only got 9 likes. We got Steven. We got a former Sooner sitting in here. We've been killing ourselves to get on here, do on this stream. Let you know what we thought. Come on, guys. Help us out. All right. Hey, I tell you another thing. We are exactly 2 away on subscriptions. We're 2 subs away from 2,000. Woo!
Heck yeah.
And, this is a big deal for us, man. We would love to see that happen. We are at 1,998 subs. So share us with your friends. Make sure.
Here, let me hit mine. No, I'm kidding.
Man, you already better be more posted.
Well, I've been inviting all 3 of my friends on here.
All 3 of them? Yeah.
And 2 of them said no.
Let everybody know. Oh, I know, right? Because none of them like me. I get it, man. Listen.
Hey, go ahead.
Share. No, I'm just saying, share it with your friends. We'd appreciate that. We know we're going to hit that 2,000 number anytime now. And we can't wait for this to start happening.
Hey, and throw a tip in there so after the podcast tonight I can go buy a beer.
Yeah. Do we have liquor in here to do a shot?
I don't think we do.
We got 1998. We got to fix that shit, please. What? 1998.
Yeah.
Hit 3,000 by the start of the season. Yeah. Hey, I would love to, Jimmy. If we
Help
can hit
us
it at
out, guys.
1,000, that
Help
would
us
be
out.
awesome.
Get your friends in there. Get your
Listen,
friends
we're
in
gonna
there.
we're gonna be there. We are actually gonna be as soon as we get back to the studio. I'll be very close to being done with it. We're gonna be going 5 days a week now. As the season starts, you guys are gonna hear a lot of stuff every day. We're gonna be covering a lot of programs. We're gonna cover the entire Big 12, and we're really gonna try to get into covering some SEC stuff. We want you to know everything that there is to know about the league that this Oklahoma team is gonna enter next season. Steven, I want to ask you.
And we're also going to cover a little
Notre Dame. Yeah, we're gonna have Notre Dame segments as well. But Steve, tell me what you think about the SEC move. Were you excited about that?
I was excited about it. I felt like it was a move that was bound to happen for the last couple of years anyway. Then I see the schedule. Oh, it's a tough schedule, but that's SEC though. So, put up or shut up.
Right.
And I think we are. And I will be at the Alabama game next year, so I will be there.
There you go. Hey, roll them out. Roll them out.
That's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be wild, right?
Yes. Hey, you know what? Talking about Notre Dame a second ago, Steven, he was heavily recruited by Notre Dame as well.
Yeah. What kept you from doing it?
I don't know. They stopped calling me.
They're at the end. They kind of tapered off. I think.
They're one of the first schools that contacted me. Them and Texas A&M, and they just kind of fell off the map. So I don't know.
Yeah. Listen, I mean,
he ended up in a good place.
Hey, you did. Hey, man, we're so glad that they screwed it up there, Steven. I got to tell you.
They did screw it up. And, Coach Madison, if you're listening, I'm telling you, you made a big mistake. You don't make many. I know you didn't make many mistakes, but you messed that one up.
What do you mean? Seriously, where am I from? I was born in Oklahoma, boys and girls. Born in Oklahoma. Muskogee, Oklahoma. I'm an Okie from Muskogee.
Way Muskogee.
That's right. I'm an Okie, boys and girls. An Okie. All right. So we don't have any liquor in here? Because if Chicken's gonna freaking donate, he said you gotta do a shot. I'll tell you what. I'll video it downstairs if you donate. I'll video it downstairs when we finish this up, and I will post it immediately. All right? It'll be up.
Sounds good.
DAG. Oh, there's Puglia. There it comes. An Okie Light guy. Everybody say Okie Light. I do not still live in Muskogee. I do not know. I've been in Vegas for the last 15 years, but right now I've moved to my first. It's Hobbs, New Mexico. It was the first place I was the sports editor at newspapers. I'm building them a podcast studio, and we're getting the show bigger. I'm going to be at every game every week, though. So that's the point. We were doing the best we could do to get these passes to come to media days. We're bringing you as much. We want to go deep dive on all these new teams, every team in the Big 12, and we're continuing to grow this thing out. So we're doing. Hey, look at there. $20.
All right.
Oh, you graduated from Muskogee there, Puglia. Well, good news.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's too bad you like Okie Light, though.
Hey, you know what? As you were,
he said, drinks on me. Yeah,
all right,
we'll post it right away. We'll post it right away as soon as we're done.
We will get it on for you. Hey, listen, here's as you're talking about all the teams and everything, Jason, guys, I'm going to tell you, I was so impressed. I never can say his name correctly. Coach at BYU.
Kalani
Sitake.
Yeah.
I tell you what, guys, I was thoroughly impressed with Coach Sitake. But not only Coach Sitake, but his people that were there and his players that were there. Guys, some of the other teams, their players showed up, walked around a little bit.
I didn't see Damon after he left.
To a couple of people, but hey, these guys from BYU, Coach Sitake's people,
they were there for like
they were walking around saying, "Hey, you need our kids to come talk to you." They were impressive, and I talked to Cody, that plays there, at BYU, and I tell you what a sharp young man, just incredible. And I had to laugh at him because he told me, he said, "Hey, where's that accent from?" I think it's from Texas.
Yeah, and listen, we enjoyed it. And I noticed that a lot too. And I've had a lot of respect for Coach Sataki for a long time. I think that they are going to come in here and do that. The thing is, and we kind of talked about this during his interview, that he was saying that they were excited to finally get into a Power 5. And we talked about how well they had done for being independent. It's one thing for Notre Dame to be independent.
Right.
It's a little different for BYU. And now they're coming into a situation with a really good coach that is, and he said they were already getting a bump of Texas kids that are starting to look at them as a possibility.
Absolutely. Right? And I think them coming into the conference, they'll definitely start recruiting some kids that way. And, but I'm going to tell you guys, you know, don't count them out this next season.
I think that they're the best of the 4 entries at the moment. Right. I don't know. I think UCF is going to struggle a lot. They've averaged number 70 in the country in recruiting. And the thing about BYU that you see is their kids are a little older a lot of the time, right? Because they go on their mission.
Right.
So they're a little stronger, a little older, a little wiser. Yeah. And I feel like they're going to get that recruiting one, but I also think that you're going to see that's going to be, it may take a little time there. But UCF, I think Coach Malzahn can recruit, knows what he's doing and stuff like that. I mean, they're talking a lot of trash coming into this thing, and it's going to put them in a bad position. They're going to come into Norman and get smoked after the crap they've been talking about Dylan Gabriel already. These guys. Yeah. Did you see all that?
I haven't seen it, but good luck with that.
Trashing him, talking all kinds of smack. Saying that he's a chump and a loser and all this stuff.
Whoa.
Pretty wild. That's some harsh words for somebody just coming in the Big 12. Okay.
And you come into Norman in the first time around. It's not the same as it's one thing when you're in a G5 conference and you play one Power 5 school at the end of the year and they don't maybe get up for you and you do.
I tell you what, that's bulletin board material already. They already got it up there, I promise.
Absolutely.
They wait on that day.
You're right.
Guarantee it.
Where did I hear that we are predicted to land Jackson? Jackson? Oh, man, it's been all around. It's been all around. So we were reading it. Yeah, we were reading it a little while ago too. Guys, I've heard it a lot. The other thing that I've heard a lot is Dominic McKinley. I'm hearing a lot. And although you should never see a guy from Louisiana get out of Louisiana and not go to LSU, from what I understand, they did something that pissed off his parents, and they really loved their trip to Norman for the barbecue, right? Yeah. I do think that you're going to start getting a lot of these. Look, we just found out that Williams-Nwaneri is making his choice on August 31st, I believe. You're going to have Tatum making his choice on the 13th, 14th, something like that. It could be tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. Yeah. And it was obviously down to Lincoln, USC Trojans, and OU. I will plead with everybody. If he somehow chooses Lincoln, which I don't see really happening because DeMarco is probably one of the best recruiters in the world. He just keeps getting dude after dude, right?
That's when you run for 1,800 yards in the NFL.
There is that. And you think about it, DeMarco, and that's what I said. I said, this guy hitting the recruiting trail like he hits the hole. Mm-hmm.
You know what he got to do, man.
Awesome stuff, right? And soul mission, I believe, is the key. Well, soul mission, I know it's kind of a new thing that people know about, but I know that it's. Talk about what you think about soul mission.
I love it because if it wasn't for the soul mission, it wouldn't bring all the former players back together like they did last year. And I think that was a big part of the program. Having the former players and talk to the recruits, talk to the guys that's on the team now, Right. I think it's a big part of what they're doing. I love it.
Yeah. Jay Kane said that McClain isn't going to OU, going to LSU. Apparently, you're ahead of me, Brent.
There you go.
Yeah, listen. No, I don't think he is. I don't think that he is. I think that McKinley is firmly in play. I know he's also in play for Texas, so that sucks. But look, you're about to be in a league in first year right out of the block. You're going to have to play LSU in Baton Rouge too.
Ooh.
You know it's gonna be a light game.
Baton Rouge.
Brutal
You have to
game,
make
right?
a road trip to that one too.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, easy there, Swain. You gonna talk all that smack? I figured. What do you have to say about this whole deal with Swain? What do you have to say about what Gundy had to say today? You talk about you call OU and Texas the complainers. Ooh. After what Gundy was saying today, yeah, I'm not positive what's going to happen with McKinney. I'm telling you, I keep hearing he's not going to LSU. I keep hearing that. So that's cool, man. The bottom line is and we've said this, Winery, they haven't waived not one of these guys. There's more predictions on him going to OU almost every day. If anybody thinks that David Stone isn't going to OU, I think you're out your mind. I think that it would hurt him to not be a part of it. You know, I think that he would, even if he were to go and choose money somewhere else, that not that they're not going to pay him, but if he was to go choose, say, more money somewhere else, I think he would regret the decision immediately, right? He wants to be a part of that program. And then I think that Nigel Smith, we talked to JJ said it, we've heard it from, Aaron Donald said Nigel Smith is going to OU. That's 3. If you get McKinley, there's 4.
And Jackson, that's the guy from today that y'all talking about.
Yes.
I just saw his highlights a while ago while he was sitting there, and I like what I see.
Impressive.
Pretty impressive.
He's a stud, man.
Somebody that big, to control the middle, get through a line of scrimmage like that.
Yeah.
Ready for the SEC, definitely need that guy.
Yeah.
Depth is important, man. It's so important at that position because you guys are big. You're not going to go. You need to go in a 4 rotation, like you said.
You got to,
And he brings up competition, too.
Yeah, I think long gone are the days of the one player playing 70 plays. Everybody's not Aaron Donald. All right. So you can't be playing
That's true.
60, 70 plays a game, man.
No.
You're going to wear out throughout the season. So you need those rotations.
Can't do it.
You need it.
You know, I have to say, and you know, Jason, we heard this constantly today from all the coaches as far as you got to have that depth, you got to have that rotation, just what you're alluding to, Steven. You've got to have it.
Go ahead. Continue. I got something to say to Greg as soon as you're done.
No, it's just the fact that you know, at that level of football and to be successful, you know, you could have 4 great down linemen defensively, but you're not going to be great defensively because they're going to get tired.
Right.
They're going to get
And in the
injured.
fourth quarter, what's going to happen?
And-
You know, that's when you start breaking down.
And then if they're playing over the long haul, the injuries start to creep in, and so your depth in college football is crucial. So recruiting goes back to that recruiting piece of, you know, you got to recruit the great ones, but you got to recruit the good ones too. To
Listen,
have that depth.
that's one thing a lot of people forget about, though. You had the kid from California last year that they got. He was a 3-star guy, but he looked really, really good. And I've heard that he's. And then you brought in some guys from the portal, you know, coming from Texas State, you know, and you had also Rondell Bothroyd that came in from Wake Forest. I mean, that guy's a game wrecker. We've seen, you know. And if you've taken a look at like some of these other guys that have been in the program for a year and they're in that Smitty built way, I mean, listen, these guys that didn't look like they were going to get the job done, maybe they are going to be able to get the job done, right? I just feel like that's Jaden Jackson is tomorrow and Tatum the 21st. Okay, you may be right there. Jaden is tomorrow. I'll let you know for sure. I didn't hear all that. I was at media days, so. You know, we were watching what was going on there, and I've been struggling with this tech since I got back. So, yeah, listen, I've been doing football and basketball recruiting professionally since '88. Let's not talk about who the great recruiters are anymore with NIL, by far the main influence. But hold on, Greg. Hold on, Greg, because you're seeing that, and that may be obviously money is a big deal. I think you're right. It's a big deal. But let's be real about it. Let's be real about it, though. And you think OU's not paying these? Is not going to pay these guys because they are. They know exactly. Everybody, knows anything about Oklahoma, knows they're going to the SEC and they need to get better in the trenches.
Facts.
Period. So the money that they raised, yeah. Did they let They've let a couple of guys. JJA is gone. He's going to Georgia. You can see him flip later, but I think that's going to happen. The guys that they want, though, are still in play because they know what they're going to get if they go to Oklahoma. When it came to Winery, he was at Georgia, a week and a half ago, and he left there within an hour and a half of getting there, and not one Georgia recruiting pundit said anything about Georgia getting him. And in fact, what we're hearing from guys like Parker and those guys is that Kirby said, no way we can get him. We don't have the money for it.
I think something intriguing going on with OU because they're going to the SEC. I think it's kind of intriguing a lot of prospects. Like, okay, they're going in there. I want to be a part of that. It might be something different. I mean, right. They're getting the recruit, so I mean, like I said, I want y'all all to come to OU so we get better. So.
But and I get and I believe you that in Swain you keep saying even the parents tell me NIL is the number one influence. Well, let's not get it twisted that they want money. I get that. But if you're going to tell me that the sole mission has nothing to do with it, I'm going to tell you you're wrong because look at what's happened with Georgia the last few weeks. A lot of these guys that would normally be going to Georgia because of their little issue that they keep having with racing cars and all this other stuff, it seems like they might be falling off a little bit.
Hey, you think your mama wants you going there right now? I mean, mama's not too impressed with national championships as she is with her baby boy growing up and being a good man. And
not getting killed in a car wreck.
Whether we like to admit it or not, guys, that takes a big part in a kid's recruiting process. And so you can have all the money you want, but if you're having cultural issues,
let's not act like they weren't getting paid already.
They've been getting paid for a long time.
Come on, man. And they should have been. They should have been. But the point is, yes, it's out in the open now. Everybody thinks it's such a, and I agree with you, Greg, to an extent. Yes, it's important. But don't think that the people that want Oklahoma to win a national championship are opening their pocketbooks and making sure that this happens. But it is not the only factor. It's not the only factor.
Well,
because look, Coach Venables has said, I'm not going to deal with drama. I'm not going to do it. If you're drama in recruiting, you're drama in the locker room. I'm not doing it.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, guys. Not every player is getting NIL money.
No. It's just like the NFL. The best players get paid.
Exactly. And that's unfortunately, that's what's I say unfortunately, but fortunately, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm glad they get paid.
I think I'm a little confused myself.
I think the portal needs to be fixed.
I think it does. It needs some work. They need to fix that a little bit.
Contracts are contract. But if you're going to do that, then the contract's got to hold the school to it as well.
Right.
Texas A&M.
But again, again, guys, I think something that we all miss a little bit. Those great ones are getting that NIL money, and the good ones aren't getting it. But you better have a lot of good ones, right. Even if you have some of the best ones. Again, you got to have some good backups.
Yeah. So right now, who's the highest paid college person? Everybody pretty much knows it's Caleb Williams, right?
Yeah. First, he's going to be the number one pick unless he just
Mr.
falls off the planet. Yeah, unless he breaks his freaking head. I mean, he's got to not. I can't imagine him not being number one.
Yeah,
right. Grayson Halt is about to blow up again. I agree with you, Derek. Agree.
But heard a lot of good stuff about him.
Grayson Halt.
Yeah,
he's the one that's built it. He was 260 coming into this, and since the spring, he's up to 290 all muscle. Woo.
Smitty build.
Hey, what was that like? What was it like?
Ooh, boy. That was probably one of the hardest things in my life. I'm not going to lie. I never thought I could make it through a Smitty workout. Now I look back at it, I'm like, how did I even make it through a Smitty workout?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You got any impressions of him?
Oh, no. Well, I got a couple.
Do something.
Let's see. I know one time I had to come back and fight. No, I didn't make my time on one of the runs. He was like, "That won't be dog. I mean, you did last and you one of my big guys. Like, you did last. So it won't big dog. Matter of fact, just come back and fight." Like, come on,
always big dog, right? Always big dog.
Yeah, come on, big dog. What's going on, big dog? You the leader, man. But no, I love Smitty, man. Smitty did change my life, man. That whole he really did, man. Because I never thought I can go do something like that and make it. Now everything I do now is easy right now. So
yeah,
shouts out to Smitty, man.
Hey, you guys give us some love for that, guys. He just gave us a Smitty rundown. And listen, you're right about that. Yeah, I think Grayson Halton is going to be such a huge deal, right? Such a huge deal. Guys, hit the like button. There's 28 people in here right now. Only 13 people have hit the like. Come on. Help me out here. Help me out.
Yeah. Like.
How many defensive players are a sure win? Lori, if I knew that, I mean, I'd be making a lot of damn money if I could really predict that. Now, what does it look like? What does it look like? It looks like, to me, you're looking at probably 7 total defensive linemen. I'm thinking 3 to 4 DTs.
Yes.
And then probably 3 to 4 of the other guys. 6 or 7 is where I was at the other day on Jay's show. They were all around 7, 6 or 7, and the same thing. As far as, yeah, because they won't let us, Swamsy. They just won't let us. Where was I? Oh,
6 or 7.
6 or 7 of those guys. I still feel like Eli Bowen, unless he just, I mean, I think that him and Peyton want to play together. I don't see him going to Texas. You know, his brother's there. I think that he's going to probably end up at Oklahoma as well. Yeah, man. There's a lot of these dudes that they're. I mean, you know, they're going to pick up these. They're going to hit on 2 or 3 linebackers probably by the time it's all said and done.
And also get these linemen. I think that would be great.
That's where you got to start. Look, you got to think about where they are at linebacker right now. They may be a little thin there as well. But I think you're going to see some big improvements when you. I mean, Stutzman looks like he's going to take the next step.
I think he will.
And had he been better, I know he led the league in tackles, but had he been better disciplined and like really showed out and not had bad grades from missing bad film grades for missing holes, he might have been in the league. So that would have hurt, right? Everybody want to see Jaron Kanak? Here he is. You know, look, Deshaun McCullough, freshman All-American. That dude is going to be an unbelievable man.
I'm excited to see what he's going to do.
Bro, that guy's
Can't wait.
right? And talk about Smitty built. He put on about 25 pounds of muscle too.
What?
Speed and muscle. When Nary, Stone, McKinley Smith, and Jackson, if they did that, hey, Kim,
that would be great.
Don't say that.
So shout out to that tight end that committed earlier this week too.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Mitchell. Javon Mitchell.
Yeah.
That dude is the real deal. He's probably going to drop to a 4.
Don't care.
Because he was a 25 guy. Who cares? By the end of the season, he's liable to be back at number 5. If you've seen his film, it don't matter. And I don't care if he had a star. The dude's real. That's big time there. Hey, you saw Jackson Arnold. He was pumped about that. And, I mean, you know, he played with Hawkins already. But Jackson Arnold was like, I can't wait. You know, you can't wait on guys like that. So, hey, man, we're excited about it. Really? Bussy, dude. Okay, so there's this other guy. Have you heard of the Bussy kid?
No.
All right, man. This dude, he had 2,500 rushing yards last year, 2,100 passing yards. He's an athlete guy, 5-star kid. 2,100, 2,500. He had 40 rushing touchdowns. 40 touchdowns between passing and rushing, right? He had played on defense as well, over 100 tackles. 4 pick sixes, is that right, guys? 4 pick sixes and like 4 punt returns or kick returns for touchdowns. This might be the best football player in history.
Where is he from?
He's from Texas, man. He's from Texas. So where are you coaching now?
I'm coaching at Irving.
Irving,
Texas, yes.
Irving, which high school?
I'm at a middle school right now.
Okay, cool. But you feed into MacArthur, is that right?
Irving MacArthur, yes.
Irving MacArthur. Okay. So coaching right there. Wish I could say to the end. Have to go. All right. Altilis, you're going to go mess with them? Go do that. I'll talk to you later, Swing. Have a great night. Women's calling. Great time. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate you guys as well. Thank you so much for the super chat there, Chicken. We appreciate that. Man, I don't have a feel for Bussy either. And everybody's in on him. So we're going to find out. I mean, I think that Tatum is a lock. To me, he should be. Would it really surprise you if he ended up with Lincoln? Not really, because of how deep this room is getting. Somebody's going to end up being an odd man out at some point, right? And as great as we're seeing them recruit that, I think it's the best running back room in the country, Steve.
Oh yeah, by far.
I think that it is. I don't think that when you look at what they just brought in, when you got Hollywood and the kid from, I always forget the kid from Denton. He's from Ryan. It's
Hicks.
Yep.
Yeah, Hicks
and Hollywood Smothers. Those guys are filthy. Then you got
Barnes, still got Sawchuk.
You still got Barnes and Sawchuk. You still got Marcus Majors. If he can just stay healthy, Marcus would be filthy, right?
That's his own thing. If he's healthy, he'll be good, man.
And look, maybe he does. Maybe being Schmitty built this over the last year, maybe he keeps it together this year. And I'd love it if he did, because, man, he's running out of eligibility. I'd love to see him get an opportunity to kind of help his drive style.
I love it too, man.
Yeah.
All it takes is one good year, man. That's all it takes.
That's true.
I got an off-topic question.
Go for it.
Northwestern. That's all I gotta say. Northwestern.
I didn't forget about Tawee, Jimmy. You're right. Go ahead.
What's gonna happen in Northwestern?
They're not gonna get Coach O. Do you think you're gonna replace?
You're hearing Northwestern. You're hearing Tommy Rees. He hadn't coached a down of football in Alabama.
And somebody says Coach O.
And I was just looking through, and that's what I do a lot of times. Guys, look through here while we're talking, but somebody's already putting Coach O, that was at LSU, possibly up for the job at Northwestern, which would a really interesting choice there.
But if I'm a coach, would I even want that job?
Hell no.
Because Big Ten, pretty much the bottom feeder of Big Ten.
Yeah.
It's hard to win there.
The one thing I would say about that job, and you had a guy that was a good coach, apparently. He'd been doing,
he was a Northwestern guy, pretty much.
Yeah, he was a good, but this guy had done a good job. Apparently there's some issues going on there with some hazing, sexual stuff, weird crap like that. But in what I saw, Danny Cannell was really taking, this guy is going to the hilt for Pat Fitzgerald. What the hell are you thinking about? He was attacking Patty Gasso over her girls over celebrating.
Right.
After going 61-1, by the way.
Shout out to all you softball team.
Right?
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Coach Go, Patty Gasso, 3 straight. Yeah. But he's taken up for Pat Fitzgerald, saying that he's been a stand-up guy. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think that Jerry Sandusky was stand-up until he wasn't.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying, man.
Boy, that was a...
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
He was right until he wasn't. Everybody thought he was great.
Somebody better send some more money to Jason for that one. He needs another shot.
That was a good shot, wasn't it?
He just took a shot, so you got to buy him a shot.
But that whole Northwestern thing is crazy.
It's sad.
It is, man. It's not the first coach.
New Mexico State had the same kind of thing in basketball this past year. They lost the team for the year.
Yeah.
It shut the season down.
It's sad to say, but it happens everywhere. It's just sad for them. So I need it. Not needed at all.
Look, I'm just saying, if Pat Fitzgerald was such a stand-up guy that Cannell said he is, really? You're gonna get on Patty Gasso for allowing her players to be, outward with their celebration, but you're gonna just give this guy a pass because you haven't never heard of anything bad about him? Come on, man. What the hell's the matter with you, Danny? What the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah.
Don't make no sense.
Danny.
That's just dumb. And come on, man. You were a flop. Now this is how you're gonna make your. This is the wrong path, bro. Wrong one.
Let him live.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, 45 days. Notre Dame and Navy. 45 days. I'm pumped.
Who's not excited about that? Come on, hey, folks. If you love the program, make sure you hit the like button. We need more subscribers for 2,000. That would be great. You can always, as Chicken did a little earlier, hit that super chat button, give us a donation, or you can just make sure you hit the like. We also have our $100 off deals. All that stuff is going to be in the description for your Louisiana grills and smokers. Unbelievable gear there. And then, look, we've got 45 days till the start of college football. Make sure that you gear up and get gear ready. HOFmedia.us/fanatics. Make sure you go get up to 65% off all your favorite OU gear, Texas Tech gear, whatever your favorite team is, even if you like Texas. Make sure you do that. We got our podcast merch site as well. Again, HOFmedia.us/pod-merch. You can get the Horns Down hats. We've got the Lincoln Riley block meet. Did anybody see that stuff that he posted yesterday? Again, he's got to stop posting when he cooks shit. It's terrible. It looks. The guy will turn a brisket into sand. I swear to God.
Into sand.
Into sand, man. And then post this shit on Twitter. What are you doing?
So you gotta keep to yourself.
Oh, it's hilarious. I was laughing so hard at that last night. All right, man. They are some good smokers. Go check those out. There's a $100 coupon just for using our link. It's HOFmedia.us/Louisiana-smokers. What you got?
Coach, how you feel about Marcus Freeman? That's coach.
Oh, you know what? I'm super excited about Marcus. I think he's, like all first-year head coaches, I think he's going through a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
But Marcus, I truly believe that if they'll let him sit in there and do the job, and again, he's had some mistakes already. That the first one started, the day he took over, and they had to play Okie Light in the bowl game, and up by 27, and we got beat. Which I was there at that ball game, and I threw up twice in my mouth. And, but I tell you what, I really believe he's a player's coach. I think that he's recruiting and he's selling Notre Dame because, guys, Notre Dame it's a unique institution, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Notre Dame guy. I'm just saying that they've got a lot of unique things that happen there. And to recruit there becomes a little bit more difficult. But that that's that old saying, we are Notre Dame. But I think Marcus is going to do a tremendous job there. And if they'll just let him do his thing, because I truly believe this. If they don't let him do his thing, he's not going to be there long. And he'll be at Ohio State, leading the Ohio State. The Ohio State.
Well, man, if I think they're going to get rid of Ryan Day before too long if that cat don't win something.
Well, and that's what I'm alluding to is I think that we need to let him do his thing at Notre Dame, and but he's the guy. Lou Holtz was the last guy that really did something there, and I truly think Coach Freeman is a guy that could be a lifer at Notre Dame, and I tell you what, guys, again, I'm a Notre Dame guy. I see a possible 11-1 this year.
Once Ohio State.
They got Ohio State. They got some tough. They've got a tough schedule. But I truly believe they have Clemson. They
beat them last year.
Yeah, like a drum last year. But again, guys, Clemson is going to be back in the hunt too. And I said this the other day. Jason said, "What in the world are you talking about?" Because I made the statement. I think Notre Dame and Clemson both be in the Final Four.
I don't know about all that.
And I know that's a little difficult scenario
I think that's
because they're playing each other. And so probably whoever wins it would probably go on if they had the same record.
Jimmy wants to just say this. We all just hope they put a beating on USC.
That's
Hey.
all. That's all we want.
That's all we want.
Just a good old-fashioned ass whipping, brother.
Did you see where Teddy was
And
talking
we're
about
gonna-
the other day?
hey,
Teddy said
we-
this is
we're-
liable to start another civil war. It's going to come on Tatum. On the Tatum deal.
We're taking nail polish to the game, and we're going to remove Williams.
That's awesome. Nail polish. That's awesome.
Nail polish remover.
Oh, got it.
Remove.
Love it.
Even though I'm still a Caleb Williams fan, I am.
He's a baller, man.
He's
a
a
baller.
baller,
There's
man.
no two ways around it.
There's no doubt he is.
I don't think that was entirely his fault for him going from Oklahoma to USC. He did the best decision for him, in my opinion. So,
Sure.
you know,
No, I
I
can't-
can't hate on the kid for that at all, man. He did good for us when he was at OU. I loved it. I still love watching him play. He's a Randy Heisman Trophy winner. So,
But you know, playing for me, Steven, and just say this. I mean, be honest. Would I let you put nail polish on your fingernails or have an FU
Let me
on
just
there?
answer- let me just answer.
you would have me on the bench, coach.
Guys, be classy. Like I always used to tell our guys, act like you've been here before, man. Act like you're a champion. Be a champion. Act like a champion.
I wouldn't say 11-1 for Notre Dame either, folks, but I will tell you this. I like Marcus Freeman. I think that he's recruiting on a level that you weren't seeing out of the winningest coach of all time at Notre Dame wasn't recruiting like that. I think that you give him a little bit of time. If he gets the right amount of time there, I think that he can turn him into something real. Is it this year? Maybe, maybe not. Coach knows him better than I do, but I tend to doubt. I just think there's too many pothole possibilities, right? There's too many tough places to play. Clemson,
Hey,
USC.
we didn't have a quarterback to feed
Plus
the
Ohio
starving birds a
Now,
year
Sam
ago.
Hartman is good.
And I'm going to tell you something. And people talk about, well, the receivers weren't very good last year. You got a lot of those same guys back. But I'm going to tell you something. Hell, if you can't throw me the ball, how am I going to be a good receiver? Guys, we've got some great receivers.
And Greathouse is going to be a great receiver. The kid from Austin.
Absolutely.
Oh, the kid from
And
Austin.
Flores, another freshman. They got 3 freshmen. Guys, I'm just telling you. And I watch them, and I always try to be honest and true. And if I felt like we were going to have a 6-6 season, I'm going to say, golly, guys, we're going to have a tough one this year. It's going to be 6-6. But I'm just here to. Well, I'm going to take my 11-1. There is a possibility we could be 12-0. So I truly believe that, and I'm telling you that from a coach's perspective, and
But listen, all the time you say, and they're not in agreement with you here.
No,
and some don't like Notre Dame any more than you like Oklahoma.
exactly. Now, you know what? I did like Oklahoma at one time,
Yeah, I get it.
but it's when he was playing. Steven was playing there.
Yeah, hey, Chicken says that Steven makes you look like a 12-year-old. Sitting next to Steven's a big dude. Hey man, he came in and he kind of gave me a hug, and I was like, dang, I'm swallowed up in here. And
You know what, guys? Today was a reunion of sorts.
big day.
Steven and I had not been together for 22 years.
Wow.
And here we are.
Except for on the
today
show that
together.
time, but not in person.
Right, not in person.
That's awesome.
Face to face. Golly, what makes a coach's heart feel good is when he sees his guys that are successful men and families, fathers. Those things.
That's the most important thing in life.
And I have to tell you guys, I wanted to win more state championships, just as bad as any coach out there. Because as a coach, you're a competitor and you want to win and be successful. But these are the wins right here. Right here. These are the wins.
Well, and you talk about, we were talking about it on the way up here. And what these guys did at Skyline and what they did to change that thing around. Because, and they talked about it on the last time that Steven was with us, is that they went from, what did they win before you got there?
Not much.
like 1 or 2 games, and then by the time it was all over, they were beating Dallas Carter. You know, everybody knows who Dallas Carter is. You know, these are the guys that in Friday Night Lights they beat Permian. You know, Odell Beckham's dad played there. What was that other guy that used to play there that you were talking about yesterday?
Yeah, the linebacker.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Jesse Armstead played there.
Jesse Armstead.
Armstead,
Yes, Jesse Armstead. So
That's
I mean,
who it was.
Dallas Carter was a real deal. They had an ESPN documentary about him. So we know what kind of
Friday Night Lights, the movie.
Well, Friday Night Lights, but they also
Yeah.
had another 30
documentary,
for 30
yeah.
about him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What Carter lost.
Absolutely. Well, and you know, we beat them for the first time in 32 years, didn't we, Steve?
Yeah, for the first time. And we knew we was going to win that game. We already knew.
Hey,
First time in 32 years, and they knew.
He did.
Well,
That's awesome.
Let me tell you, Stephen made a great statement there because we picked him. Freddie James was the head coach that year. You know, he had come back as the head football coach. He was their famous coach, and he came back. Always had that sucker in his mouth during ball games.
Yeah.
But Freddie, you know, he saw the Skyline schedule and he said, "Coach, why'd you pick the Carter Cowboys?
The Carter Cowboys.
Hey, why'd you pick the Carter Cowboys for homecoming?" I said, "Well, Coach, aren't you supposed to pick somebody you can beat at homecoming?" And he said, "Coach, you haven't beat Carter in 32 years." And I said, "Well, Coach, that's why we picked you for homecoming, because we're going to win." And by golly, we believed that, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Stephen was correct. We believed and we knew we were going to beat them. And we did something a little cool before the ball game. We bought black uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you were saying. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, we bought black uniforms, and we did our pregame at the high school on our high school practice field, and then we drove into the stadium on a Saturday afternoon, a 1:00 game. It was homecoming. The stands were packed. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 people deep around the fence, and our buses pulled in. We climbed off the bus and straight to the sideline and commenced to giving them an ass whipping like they'd never had before. And one of the things when I first got to Skyline, the first time I played against Carter, I was told after the ball game, "Welcome to the neighborhood, Coach." and you know, what could I say? I just got my ass whipped. I couldn't say much, right? And so when we beat them that afternoon, I walked across the field and I said, "Coach, I'm really beginning to like the neighborhood."
That's classic.
Some fun stuff. We had some great times, didn't we, Steve?
Great time, man. Great time. Man, that whole
Guys,
year was great.
My other account is starting to looking screwed. We're going to have to call this one off here. We've got 26 watch time. We got 20 likes only. Guys, help us out. If you didn't already do that, please do that. But hey, here's the deal. We're going to head on out of here. We want to thank Steven Coleman for joining the show. He's going to be back with us a bunch more times, right? I feel like that's going to happen. As long as Coach is around, we're going to get Steven. And look, we love having Sooners on the show. So that's going to happen. Look, make sure that you share us around. Go check out our different merchandise stores. And, hey, go over there and start busting on Okie like Mike for what he was saying. And hey, if you know somebody that works in the legislature there in Oklahoma, maybe make this happen. Make sure that game starts happening again, or Okie like Mike gets out of there. Don't let him get away with all this trash talk and making it about OU not wanting to play, because we know damn good and well they said they wanted to extend the series. They need a Power 5 opponent in the SEC. You have to have one that isn't a conference game. So that game should happen. That narrative is trash. We all know it's trash. So just don't allow it, right? Go over and get it. Go another hour, she says. Hey, I would, but I just don't.
Who said that?
Lori. And I appreciate it. But we got to go spend Chicks' money now. And have a drink. And plus, we got to be back out there early in the morning. I got to check some stuff out. I'm gonna make this thing work.
Hey,
from the stadium tomorrow.
I gotta tell you, Jason. You know, that gum. This is kind of my first time to come out to the media day, I tell you what, I told my wife earlier, I said, "Dadgum, you know, coaching was pretty busy, you know, hard work, but these media guys, boy, they put in their time too. And I tell you what, I was wore out at the end of the day today. So it may be time to go get that shot and then go jump in the swimming pool for a little bit.
Ooh, watch out.
There you go.
Don't get naked, coach.
Hey guys,
Nobody wants to see that shit.
it'd be like a beluga whale. Hey guys, thank y'all all for coming on the show and listening and you know, I continue to say this. You guys have a great knowledge of the game, and it's awesome to be able to sit here and listen to your comments. Although dadgummit, 12-0, go Irish.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's outside the window. Okay, that's how we're gonna close it out. I will go because I gotta pick up that thing anyway. I'll show you what's up. But guys, love you guys. We will see you on the next one. We're gonna be on there tomorrow. Don't worry. We'll see you tomorrow. Come check us out. But we'll close it out with the view of outside the window.
Hey, Boomer.
Boomer. Hey, say it again.
Sooner.
Say it again, Steven.
Boomer.
All right. All right. Outside the window, folks. Oh, shit. Hey, coach. Go turn off that light.
What you got? This one?
Yeah, we're getting all that glare. Y'all see it?
AT&T Stadium.
We're right across from AT&T.
Probably the
Enjoy the view.
Nicest stadium in the country.
One of them. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.